Hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, like this video. And what we want you to do, the listeners, the viewers, is let us know how many points you feel like we're going to get from the next 3 Premier League games, and then maybe let us know how we're going to do in the Cup as well. So it was great to see Starboy in an England shirt, Carney Chukwuemeka captaining England under-19s, 17-year-old, absolutely buzzing for the kid. He's going to the top. So we've got another new recruitment. Aaron Danks has come in as a attacking coach, as a coach at Aston Villa as well. So, it bodes well for the players that we've brought in this summer. Majority of the players that we brought in were attacking players in Buendia, Bailey, Danny Ings. And I feel like he's going to work his magic on what he's really good at. So we've got all the lads here today. So Justin, do you want to tell us a little bit about the main man?
Yeah, I'd never heard of him, to be fair, when he dropped, the name dropped. So it was literally a matter of going away and doing a bit of research and reading about, what the local papers and Villa had put out. It's a very interesting appointment, isn't it? I mean, you see this a lot in football, like a bit of nepotism, really, isn't it? Of like coaches always coming from playing ranks. And it doesn't happen very often when you see a coach hit the top level that's never really played the game. He spent a long time at West Brom in their academy. So that, there's already strong links there, isn't there, with what we've done with our academy and the people we've sort of taken off them. So I think this could be another sort of link to that, to why we've been going with that way. I think he spent 11 years at West Brom Academy coaching under 18. So we obviously very highly thought of there. And then he was sort of poached away to England, where he did very well as well there. I think he was part of the coaching setup that won the under-17 World Cup, or was the under-20 World Cup, I think it was, in 2017. So that's a good achievement for him. He went on to be assistant coach to the under-21s as well at England level. So again, another step up for him. And then he was headhunted by Anderlecht, which, they're a big club, isn't they? A big European club. So for a foreign club to come knocking on the door for a young English coach, it's a real pat on the back for him. It shows how he's obviously progressed his career. And then he's got the call to come back. I think he's only spent 3 months at Anderlecht. That's an interesting one that, we've obviously headhunted him from there, and he's happy to jump back into England. I presume he's from the Midlands. I'm not sure where he's actually from, but being at the Albion for as long as he has, I presume he's sort of a localish lad. So yeah, I think it's a good appointment to do. I like that we've gone for a young coach that's you would like to think we've got him because of his coaching credentials, not from who he played for or what he did in the game. So I would hope that we've really picked out a real gem here. And it's interesting that he's come in as an attacking coach, like you say. We seem to be now going down the route of a main head coach in Dean, and we've got other coaches that are going to specifically sort of work on different areas of the pitch, which I think is good, to be honest, because, I remember back to the Brian Little days, we had John Gregory, you had Alan Evans, and they take different areas, they take defenders, midfielders and forwards, and it worked really well for him. So I think it can work really well again, especially with the amount of data and stuff that they get these days. I think he sort of did that at the Albion as well. I think I watched an interview with him. He was being interviewed, and he basically came along and they asked him to try and do that at Albion, and they got a video camera and started videoing, the coaching sessions. So he's innovative as well, isn't he? So that's what he seems to be. He's got a lot to prove. I think it's a really good appointment. And like you say, we've got that many attacking players now that to focus on that area of the pitch is going to be very important for us going forward.
Yeah, someone might have to explain to Danny Murphy why we've got an attacking coach, because he can't really get his head around the way that the game is evolving. But I feel like Villa at the minute are sort of, embracing this type of thing and the spearhead of it, really. We've brought in McPhee as well, who's a set-piece coach, and no doubt he's not just there to do that one role either. You see him at the games now. He's on the touchline barking orders. So I feel like it's real good what we're doing. And I think we're just not resting on our laurels, are we, with the type of way, the direction that we're going in. You see Fergie all those years ago bringing in different assistant managers all the time. It was continually evolving, and I feel like it's keeping everything fresh at Aston Villa as well. So I think that's just going to bring us on to the summer recruitment. We're in an international break. I think it's annoying that we're in one after 3 games, but I think it's come at the right time, especially for us, to get everybody back fit. and sort of we can roll on through September, October. But let's just talk about our recruitment then, Aaron. What do you make of it? Are you pleased, happy? Is there anything we could have done? Do you see any problems coming up? What's your vibe?
So for me, I think pre-Jack leaving, and I'm going to mention him because I think he's pivotal to this window and what's happened and the atmosphere that's been going on at the club and with the fans, etc. So for me, pre-Jack, I think we recruited really well. I was really impressed to see the recruitment done as early as possible. Ings is a great striker. You know, you're guaranteed a lot of goals there from him. Bailey is a standout player for me. He's an exciting winger. He's got a hell of a lot of talent. Buendia is a great player, ripped up the Championship last year. We saw a glimpse of his quality in the Premier League when he was with Norwich a few seasons back before they got relegated. You know, he was a star in that relegation team alongside Cantwell and Godfrey. You know, he was one of the standout players. So another great player there. You can see his talent, you can see his skill, and you can see his vision and the way he likes to play just in that, you know, the last few games that he's played in. He's a little bit slow at the minute. I still think like he needs to get himself match fit and sharp again. You can really see what he's going to bring to the team. Lovely to see Ashley Young come back. You know, that's a lovely addition. Lots of leadership there, lots of experience, lots of understanding of the game, the Premier League, the club. So that's a good one. And lovely to see Axel come back. But post-Jack, I just felt like we hit a wall. For some reason, for me, the recruitment just took a massive U-turn. I don't know why or whether that was meant to happen or whether that was meant to be made very obvious or evident. But for me, there was just this desire to go and get a few more players whilst Jack was still here. That defensive midfielder that we talked about, that creative number 10 that could replace Jack if we needed to and play with Jack alongside Jack. Jack went, and all of a sudden we're giving in stupid bids for top players, you know, really embarrassing bids for top players, these targets that were number one targets for us, Jane Ward-Prowse, Emil Smith-Rowe, if that ever had any legs at all, you know, and then all of a sudden we're stopped. The bids are rejected and that's it. We don't do anything. We just put our knives and forks down and stop playing. So for me, that was strange, really strange. I think with Martinez going away with Argentina as well, it leaves us a bit short in the goalkeeping department. I trust Steer. I like Steer. You know, he's loyal to the club. I love Jed Steer. But there's some big games that Emmy might potentially miss. And I feel like Steer might just struggle with a few of those bigger forwards. You know, against Lukaku, he's got his work cut out for 90 minutes for sure. So, yeah, pre-Jack, mate, very exciting. I'm still excited with the window. I'm still pleased. I'm still confident. I'm still happy with how we're moving forward with recruitment. I wanted a gem. I don't know whether Bailey was this gem, but I just wanted Mackenzie to pull his finger out of his arse and find us a real gem. You know, whether that was Sarr, whether that was Alvarez, or just someone that nobody really knew about that would light up the Premier League very quickly. And that didn't happen. So I was disappointed with that. But it is what it is, mate. You know, fan base can only get excited about what comes through the doors. What doesn't, we just have to move on and get on with it. So big loss losing Jack, obviously. You know, I'm not angry that he's left. I'm angry with the way that he's left. I think that's the big thing for me. As we've seen today on Twitter, it's exploded. But yeah, mate, happy with the recruitment all in all, and looking forward to the next few months. And if we need to recruit again in January and need to strengthen a little bit more and tighten up again, then I believe we will.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Ward-Prowse. You know, Ward-Prowse, it was as if we were targeting a central midfielder, wasn't it? And then to bid twice and then not get a midfielder in at all centrally is a little bit strange. I feel like if you're in for one and you're bidding, you're going to bring one in. But my personal vibe on it is I feel like we've took stock, we've had a look where we are, and I feel like we've sort of put a little bit more faith in the youth. That's what I feel like we've done. I think we've looked at Carney, we've looked at Bidains, and I think we've thought, if we're bringing in another midfielder here, it's going to hinder their development, and Ramsey, it's going to hinder their development. And I think we've looked at it as a whole, and we've thought we're buying youth players galore. There's got to be a pathway into this football club for those players, because otherwise what's the point in buying all these youth players? Are we just going to loan them out and sell them and sort of do what Chelsea do? But I feel like we've got a view to play these players and nurture them and let them grow as Villa players. So I don't know whether we've just looked at it and thought, initially the ambition was to get into Europe, but I don't know whether this season now it's sort of contain where we are and then go again. What do any of you other guys think of that?
Yeah, I feel you hit the nail on the head there. It might just be another season where we consolidate and we put more foundations in place and we get ready to go again next season. And I agree with what you're saying about Badice and Chukwuemeka as well, about offering them a route into the first team, because rumours are a lot of big European clubs were looking at them too, the likes of Bayern Munich, the likes of Dortmund. And look at Borussia Dortmund, they offer that route. And then look at the players they attract from offering that route. You get the likes of Sancho and Bellingham and Haaland go there. Now, if we're seen as a club that promotes youth and will play youth and will give youth a chance, then potentially you can be attracting all that type of top talent from Europe to our football club. So I think we are going the right way. I know a lot of fans, myself included, we've all said it. We wanted that nasty general, the big man. It didn't happen, and we didn't even bid for one, really. It weren't like we was heavily linked with players. I know we was linked with Saar, but we never really put any offers in or a deal was close from what we know. So I don't even know if Dean Smith actually wants that type of player. He might not want it. He might just want to play two in midfield. He might just want to play McGinn and Sanson and let them press and be box to box. He's happy with Louise. He's happy with Nakamba to step in every now and then. So if we do start getting run over, because we've got a very big month now, we've got a big month heading into the darker months. And if we do start to get run over in midfield, then question marks, unfortunately, are going to be asked of Lang and Smith to why we didn't recruit in that area. But I fully trust the board and the process. There's always a plan. From the day they've come in, there's always a plan. And I feel like they've got a plan. And I'm calm. I'm happy with the window. Like Aaron said, Young was a good signing. He's already proved his versatility in the first 3 games. Twanzai be coming back as well, knows the club. He's got an affiliation with the club, hasn't he? You always picture him singing Villa Villa to the whole end. Absolutely love that video when it circulates. So, yeah. Trust Dino, I'm trusting the board. I'm happy where we're at. It's been a bit of a disjointed pre-season. The coaching setup has changed as well, so that's a bit unsettling. Obviously, the stuff with Argentina as well. And then COVID-19 hit, didn't it? The restrictions on McGinn playing and Ramsey playing. So this international break has come at a good time for us just to hit that reset button, chill out, get players fit, get players up to speed and get ready to go again in what will be a difficult run of games now.
I mean, talking about this midfield then, I feel like we may as well just talk about it then. So I feel like Dean Smith, this is what I feel like his midfield is. Douglas Luiz sitting, McGinn in slightly in front, or, you know, the vibe that we normally do, and then one of Ramsey, Chukwuemeka or Buendia. That is how I see the midfield being. And I just feel like he obviously feels like nobody could have come in that was going to disjoint Louise or McGinn, surely, Justin?
One thing I will say on the failed bids of Smith Rowe and Ward Prowse is, in a way, you've got to respect the club. Now, if we don't know what goes on when these bids goes in, we don't even know, you know, if these bids actually happened. There was reported, I think they did go in. If they had those two in mind as a centre midfielder type attacking player, and neither of them came off, I think you've got to respect in a way that they haven't just gone out and panic bought the third option. That's got to be something that we've got to respect the club for. Yeah, we wanted him, didn't get him. Okay, let's go after him, didn't get him. We're not just going to accept third choice because we couldn't get the first two. The money's in the bank. We have got an array of midfielders that we can utilise. So, and we've got January transfer window, not a million miles away as well. So, things can change, as showed last year with Sanson, bringing him in. I don't think they expected to bring him in January, but the market changed and there was a deal to be done and we did it. So we've got the money to go and jump in and do that deal now if we need to in January. So I think we've got to be now satisfied with the squad we've got. And I think it's going to be a matter of sort of suck it and see, really, of week on week. Let's see who's fit. Let's see who's available. Let's see what kind of style we want to play, what kind of formation we want to play. I do feel, I said this a few weeks ago, I think we're going to be different home and away. And we're also going to be different depending on the quality of team we play. I want us to play three more stronger centre midfielders against the better sides and probably away from home. Whereas then at home against what you class as weaker sides in the league, I think I'm happy to go with two more solid midfielders and more of an attacking midfielder in front, like a Buendia type. My one concern over Buendia, what I've seen of him so far, he's very lightweight. Unless he's got space, he does tend to get knocked off the ball a little bit. Now, I probably agree with Aaron what he said. I think he's just got to get back up to speed again. He's got to get himself going, and he's got to get to know everybody, hasn't he? He's only played 2 or 3 games for us. So with going away as well, he's not going to have these 2 weeks just solid training. So, he's got to try and get up to speed at some point. But Ramsey is another name which I think we've got to put a lot of respect on at the moment. I think that kid has probably made it easier for Smith not to go out and sign that other centre midfielder because of what, we all knew how good he was talked about. But I think, in that game the other week, that second half, he was outstanding. And like you said, Luke, and I agree with you totally, what is the point in spending all this time, energy and money on a fantastic youth team with no route into the first team? So I'm totally happy with letting the youth play. Chukwuemeka, 17, Ramsey and his brother, Bidanes. We saw it the other day. I watched the game the other day, the under-23 game against Wickham. The second half, they were outstanding. You look at the results some of the under-23 teams have put in from the Premier League. They basically use it as just a way to get the teams playing against men's football. And we absolutely wiped the floor with them on the second half. Yes, it's Wickham, but there were kids playing against men. We were getting beat 5 and 6 last year in that competition. And it's basically the same team with a few additions. So I would rather have a Villa team full of kids coming through than a Villa team full of £100 million footballers, as long as they're good enough to play. And I think most of them are. It's so exciting if we could just have the patience. And I think that's what we should be doing now. Patience. This season is patience. Don't go over the top. We're thinking we're going to finish 6th, 7th. Happy with mid-table, happy with progression, and happy seeing these kids develop, because that gives me more satisfaction than spending £80 million on a footballer and coming in. I'd rather see Ramsey being that kid that comes through.
I think you made an excellent point there about not rushing a transfer. And we've done that in the past, haven't we? Transfer deadline day, Salafu, Jemba, whack a bit of dough and give him a 3-year contract, and you're stuck with him, aren't you? Yeah. And that's why I trust this board so good, because they ain't going to do that. They're not going to spunk that money and waste it and have a player sitting around in the under-23s or just loaning them out every season, because look what they inherited. We've net spent 200 million in 3 seasons, right? You take that Jack money away, 300 million we've net spent. And do you know how much money we recouped in the first 2 seasons? 4 million pound. So we got rid of so much dead wood in this club. And it's pointless rushing out on deadline day and bringing more dead wood in when you've got the youth and you've got players that are there and step up. And the players that are there now, surely it must give them confidence to say, right, it's my shirt, I'm going for it. So
I agree with you, Ryan. I agree with you. I think deadline day at this club and the days of bringing in those last minute signings just for the sake of it is over. I don't genuinely believe that we will make any last minute deadline day, last ditch transfers ever again.
I don't think many clubs do it now, though, do they? We saw that right at the end of the window. Days gone by, you'd have loads of deals going through, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it was all very domino as well, wasn't it? One club makes a transfer, and then all of a sudden, 12 clubs are making deals all for this next player. I think one player that we need to mention, though, Luke, when we come back to the youth, is Carney's brother, Caleb, that's come in. Just in the last few weeks of the window, he's played against Barrow and he played against Wickham. He is a phenomenal talent. He's really gone under the radar a little bit. He's an absolute monster, and he's strong. He is Wesley times 10 and everything that Wesley isn't. And I genuinely believe it won't be long before we see Caleb playing in and around that first team as well with his brother. He excites me. He's like a John Carew with pace, with
And the
real
touch.
grit. Yeah, great touch. You know, he is going to be exciting. So exciting.
And young Archer as well.
A lot of credit. Yeah,
young
absolutely.
Archer. You know, I've never heard of him really. You'd heard his name mentioned, but good on. But you know, he's come out of nowhere. And we're just so lucky with these players we've got.
The thing is,
moist with youth talent.
Yeah, moist. But Archer's they're ruthless finishes. They're top quality finishes. These are bundled finishes, and you think, the young kids got lucky. They're ruthless.
Yeah.
Man, it's very, very pleasing, isn't it?
One thing I will add though. Okay, we've had a net spend of 7 million in this window. We've spent 93 million pounds. Right, that's the fifth highest in the Premier League this window. So I'm not saying we need to finish obviously we need to finish higher than mid-table, but that's the level of our spending again in the Premier League. Yeah, nearly 100 million. And I know we sold Jack, but we'd have probably spent that anyway, right? Some clubs, looking at what some clubs spent, Everton 1.6, Southampton 15, Burnley 17, Newcastle 25, Norwich 31, Liverpool 36, Leeds 43. So the level of spending in which we are still doing is astronomical in this league, and we do need to start seeing something from it, basically, because the owners, they're not going to keep spending, and if we keep finishing 11th or whatever, so I do think we do need to.
It's the wage bill as well, isn't it? Look, you know, that has got to increase tenfold since we've come in the Premier League. So it's the turnover of money. We're throwing 100 million a season, but we're adding on to that wage bill as well, aren't we? So
I was talking to Dave Jordan, who's the financial guy for the Villa the other night, and he says our wage bill is currently about £130 million a year. Now that's pretty high when you think that we only get about 100 and something million pound in from the Premier League every year. And the difference between our turnover and Manchester United's turnover, I've got the figures somewhere. I'll have to phone them out and say it next time. Their revenue in from sponsorship and commercial is unbelievable. You know, ours is dwarfed compared to that. So if we're going to be really pushing now to get to these top positions, we've got to increase our revenue in sponsorship and corporate. You know, that's the only way we're going to close the gap on the top boys. We can keep spending this kind of money, and it's great to do it, but unfortunately the money's not coming in to balance the books. Although it's definitely helped selling Jack this year, that's definitely helped balance the books. Until we see that commercial revenue and the sponsorship revenue go through the roof, then this spending won't be able to go on forever. It just won't. It's not financially viable to carry on happening. No, it won't. So we've jumped, you know, a hell of a lot. These owners have allowed us to jump a load of teams because they've invested heavily in a really tough time financially for everyone with COVID and everything. So we have jumped a lot of teams, and we're in a good position now. So this is what I think we've just got to be patient, not only on the pitch with the players, but off the pitch financial wise. We've just got to be a bit careful. We don't want the Lerner and Giard days back again. I'd rather build slowly, and even if it's one place every year, that'll be over the moon for that.
Yeah, I think with the transfer windows, what we'll see now is one massive first team slot straight in type player coming in these big windows, because what's happened in the last 2 or 3 years is a building process, and every club needs to do that when they get into the position that we did, you know, under Gia and the financial difficulty that we find ourselves in. And we need to build, and we've done that. We've created a team, we've built a squad, and then we've filled it with talent. Then we've increased that talent. Unfortunately, we've had to let one of those talented players go. But, you know, next year for me, next window, summer transfer window, it will be 1-2 players max, probably 30, 40, 50 million a pop, but just a few players. And we won't be bringing in all of these 6-7 players every year to turn things over, because we have the foundations in place. You know, and you've got to remember as well, Chooks, Bidance, Archer, Caleb, Arjan Reiki, all of these players, Brad Young, Louis Barry, you know, they've only got to have a good season on their loan deals wherever they are, or at the club here getting first team football, and potentially they could be sold. Now, I know the idea is not to sell our youth players, but Purslow is very strong on the fact that we develop these players for big profit. So one day, if the time comes, these players will leave for big profit. We pay nothing for them or minimal fees, and one day they might bring in huge money for the club. And I guess that's also in the because it's a business at the end of the day. Yes, it's lovely to keep our youth players and see them play for 20 years at the club, but inevitably that might not happen with a few of them, and we have to expect that. But if we're gathering fees of 30, 40 million for the likes of Chooks or Jaden or Archer in 18 months' time, when they banged in 30 goals a season at 19 years old, we're making good money. And I guess that's going to happen as well. So definitely agree with all of you. The transfer windows will get far and few between in regards to recruitment, but the quality will improve, year on year. I believe that's how it will work.
Yeah, you're spot on. And I think sometimes you probably are going to see first teamers leave from time to time, but the next best thing is coming straight through that we've already got. So that is also something that is probably going to happen. You could see
that cycle going.
Yeah, you could see like a left back leaving, but then we've already got the next replacement raring to go. So, like you're saying, it is a business, and these owners aren't here to just keep chucking money in every single season and have no return. So
I found a couple of them only quickly. Our gate receipts are 11 million versus Man United's of 110 million. They've only got 25,000 more seats. That's ridiculous. Our commercial income, 13 million. Manchester United's commercial income, 275 million per season. So, that just shows the gulf. I know they are probably in the world, probably number one, but that just shows the gulf we've got to now close on. I hope I'm doing Dave justice for these figures that we've spoke about, but I'm just that just gives you an idea of where we've got to get to.
Yeah, so we are running out of time. So what we'll do is we'll go around all of us, so our next 3 games, and we'll pick how many points we think we're going to get out of those 3 games, okay? So we've got Chelsea, Everton and Man United. I am going to say 4. I will say beat Everton, draw Man United away. Ryan?
I'll be optimistic as well and say 4. Not feeling United. We always just seem to get United when they're in top form, and Ronaldo's back and he'll probably score a fucking winner. Everton's the one we've got to be looking at to try and get maximum points. Got to try and get the maximum out of our home games. But I don't know. I've got a feeling about Chelsea. I think we're doing them in the cup,
Yeah,
I do in the cup. They've got some big games either side of that, and I think if we go with a decent team, I think we'll do them in the cup. But I don't know. At international break, I don't know. I just get the feeling we can. All their squads all over the world. So I know we're missing some key players, but I don't know. I've just got a niggly feeling we might get a draw at Chelsea.
Aaron?
I agree. Everton's got to be a winning game. They're a club that we are very much on par with in everything that we're doing, everything we're trying to emulate on the field. The quality that both teams have got, managers that both teams have got, both exciting clubs on the way up again. So for me, Everton's got to be a game that we win, because that's kind of like, beating your best mate. We have to be beating teams like Everton because they're the ones that will be in and around us come the end of the season. So 3 points against Everton. Man United terrify me even when they're, third string. I just think we're bogeyed with United. It doesn't matter who turns up. We never seem to get any points off them. We could be winning 4-0 at half-time and lose 5-4 to United. So for me, I think, we have. So United, I think we'll get nothing. I don't think we'll get anything from United. And I agree, Ronaldo will probably bag a hat-trick. But Chelsea, I think, is a game that we could get something out of. Depends what Chelsea turns up. Lukaku's a big threat, obviously, but we've got the defenders to deal with him. Konsa, Mings back. There's no reason why we can't get something against Chelsea. Losing Martinez is a big blow for that game. But like I say, Jed Steer's got the balls. He knows what he's doing. He's been around the block a few times. So 1-1 Chelsea. So 4 points. Let's go 4.
Cool. And I'll do Justin's 9 points.
9.
And he's already booked his hotel to London as well. So we've already got to the final.
A plus 20 goal difference as well.
No, this is a new realistic me this season. I'm telling you now. 3 points. I tell you what, I'll predict now, we'll win 2 games next month, and we're going to win the cup game, and we're going to beat Everton at home. And if we do that, I think it's a good month.
Yeah, I'll probably agree. To be
Get through the cup, because I think we'd nice to have a cup run. Chelsea and United are going to be going for the title this season, so we've got to be very, very realistic. They will be both looking at us going, we've got to win that game, and we can always cause an upset, and I hope we do. I pray to God we can get something from one of there, because it'd be phenomenal to get a point or even to nick a win at one of them places. But realistically, we'll hopefully beat Everton at home.
Good. We just want to be. We just want to.
Anything else is a bonus. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said to you guys the other day. Competitiveness at the moment. If we can not come away, I don't want to get spanking in any of them games. I want to go and be competitive against Chelsea and give them a really good game. Same in Man United. If we nick a result, brilliant. Everton at home, the one we've got to focus on winning, and hopefully Chelsea go a bit weaker in the cup and we can do them in the cup.
Awesome. So I hope you like this episode. A little bit of an international break, one from us. Hope we've entertained you a little bit as well. So we will be back for the Chelsea preview in the week. So thanks for watching. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.